Namaste. Finally, the sun settled a little bit, so I am not completely blinded by the light anymore. I wanted to sit down and just have a little chat with you. It has been such a long time since I did that, and a lot of you have been asking me how it's going with the menopause. Yeah, you know that here in the UK they say the menopause, and in America it's just menopause. So here it's emphasized for whatever reason. But yeah, it has most certainly been emphasized. And I'm going to share with you how it's been and what it is that I'm doing. For those of you who are interested, for those of you who are not, you can just click off and continue on with your day. But before you do, thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed recently and who has subscribed just in general. The channel hit 40,000 subscribers, and I am just really thrilled and so grateful for everyone who is here. I feel like it's just the YouTube universe that has brought us together, because I don't advertise. I don't really put myself out there other than just share videos. And I love to share videos. It is one of my true joys in life to do. So a lot of you are just such amazing people, or all of you are just such amazing people who come to this channel and give me gratitude and thanks many, many, many times a day. And if I were to tally it all up, I would have definitely been a gazillionaire by now. So thank you so much. So I am going to get started with sharing with you what it is that I've done. And yeah, let's go. It has most definitely been a huge journey, for sure. A lot of things have changed since I made that video. I think it was in March or April. Back then I was quite down. It has been quite a challenging year, but I think since I made that video, definitely it has gradually been on the up and up, because I think prior to making that video, I did not have a clear understanding that I had hit menopause. And I think I was in denial, even though in that video I said it, but it hadn't quite hit home. I think I was in the state that yoga calls avidya, which is, yeah, complete denial, or you know, self-delusion, ignorance. Yeah. And it took me some time to like really sit down and start to understand for myself how that was affecting me, like mentally, physically, spiritually. And it felt literally like it was an insult in a way to my ego, to my identity. And I had to sit back. It was a lot of svadhyaya, a lot of self-reflection. I've spent a lot of time in quietness by myself, just to really ground and root and to figure out what all of this means for me. Because it's not until you're in it that you know how it is affecting you, of course. You can hear about this from the outside and think that that's not going to affect me, or I'm going to react to it differently. You never know until you're in it, because I always thought of myself as someone who was just embracing aging. I loved my 40s, had a little bit of a hard time 46, like tipping over to 46, and then that was fine. But now 49 has been really challenging, just like entering or moving towards 50. And I never thought that I would be that kind of person. I've never been anti-aging, but I realized, you know, in this state that I was quite fearful of the aging process, because I have been extremely fortunate and very privileged to be a person who is very capable, and it was, like I said, a little bit of an insult to my ego. But I'm grateful that I am willing to sit back and take a look at it. And by now having like literally practiced and trained myself to allow myself to embrace it all, everything has just gotten, so much better, because aging, in and of itself is a privilege, right? And there comes a lot of wisdom with turning older. And of course, the alternative isn't attractive either, right? So it really is all about how we choose to think about it and what we choose to do with it. I never knew that I would really, feel this way or be this way at this age, when I was growing up. Like, I thought 30 and 40 seemed ancient. So it is interesting. And I think that now, we are younger, when we're older. And although today actually is my last day of being 49, so tomorrow is my birthday, 50. And although I'm still not like excited of being 50, like I was like really excited about turning 40, but I am grateful. Like, I am just really grateful for life. And I look at life in a very different way now. Like, I look at my day in a very different way. And that's really what I focus on. And I look to the women and the men who are older than me, who are in their 50s and 60s and 70s and even 80s, who are just living beautiful and vibrant and productive lives. And it's really inspiring. And that's what I am going to continue to do, is just look towards, those people. And that helps me out a lot. So what I ended up doing, basically, first and foremost, when I was feeling so bad, is that, you remember those cold showers that I started taking? I'm still taking those cold showers, and those cold showers really woke me up. Like, I was just feeling such lethargy, like physical lethargy, in a way that I'd never felt before. Like, I felt like almost like I was like dead in my body. And the cold showers have just like completely woken me up, and has really been an incredible medicine. I highly recommend it. So I started with that, was in like, I think March or April. I've continued it. I do it every single morning, a cold shower, and huge, huge, huge thumbs up. It's incredible. I'm not even afraid of the cold water anymore. Then what I was also feeling a lot was, I was feeling a lot of body ache and brain fog. And what I ended up doing was I started to take CBD oil. My husband was actually the one who started to take CBD, and he had done a lot of research on it, and it has helped him a lot with sleeping. I don't have problems sleeping at all, so I was just curious to see if it could make me feel better in my body, because I was just feeling such body ache. Like, some days I barely could move. I couldn't even stretch. Like, I was moving like a really, 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 really stiff person, and I'm not a stiff person. And so I started to take the CBD, and the CBD that I take is called Kiki Health. I started off with 5% first, and now I'm taking 10%. And I take 3 drops in the morning under my tongue. And I can't even explain to you how it has taken away all of that discomfort I was feeling in my body. It's incredible. And when I went to Norway during the summer, for some reason I decided not to take it with me. And all of that pain was coming back. And I was like, I am never ever going to travel without this stuff. And the moment I came back to London, I got back on it again and then gradually started to feel amazing in my body. So I highly recommend CBD, which is something that you could research, for yourself. And I have done so much research on it, and it has a lot of positive benefits for many, many, many different things. Then what I also ended up doing is I went back to starting with ashwagandha, which is an Ayurvedic herb, and it helps to balance out your hormones. That was something that I had been using for a long time, and then like the last 2 years, for some reason, I just completely forgot about it, and started to put this in smoothies again. And I think that also helps to regulate my hormones. And I have also started to just take a little bit more vitamins than what I used to take. So I take a B12 spray. I take a vitamin D spray as well. I take an omega-3 pill, multivitamin pill. I also take this, it's called a Sage Complex from Victoria Health, and it's basically a menopausal supplement. And I think that this one has helped a little bit on my brain fog, even though now for this last full moon, I was feeling a bit headachy and a little bit brain foggy. So I'm not exactly sure if this one has helped me as much as the CBD oil. So I'm going to experiment a little bit with this one. But the brain fog and the body ache has definitely been the hardest, and also like memory loss. Like I will just completely forget my students' names, and even though I've known their names for years, and then all of a sudden it's just like gone. So the memory loss has been like shocking and terrifying for me. But I felt for like the last 2 months that being on this, I thought has been helpful. But I'm going to, continue with it and see how it will unfold. And this is just a probiotic, which I was told is good to take, as you get older. I don't really have problems with my digestion, but I think that it's a good thing to take to keep everything moving. Next to that, I have been entertaining HRT, hormone replacement therapy. Still not 100% sure if I'm going to go with it, but I was just feeling like life is too short, and the lack of hormones is just making me feel really bad. And the way that I look at it is HRT, the hormone replacement therapy, is just a way of, boosting my hormones. And I've had a few students who are now on it, and I can just see that it's just improved their lives tremendously. They feel so different. So I might, look into that in 2020 and see. But right now I'm feeling so much better with what it is that I'm doing, that I might cross that road a little later. But that's also another thing that I never ever had thought that I would ever entertain. Yeah, I might. The other thing that I've been doing is I started to go back to the gym, and that has been incredible because I just completely lost my strength. And also my balance, like my balance was just like completely off. And very gradually I'm starting to feel like I'm getting my strength back, and that feels really good. really, really good. So that is really my new favorite thing to do, is to go to the gym and just push those weights and like really connect in again with my strength. Because for some reason it just left, gone. And balance is also something I'm working on, just gradually getting back into that. So yeah, it's interesting. One other thing is that I have become this person now that wears bright lipsticks. Yeah. I remember always looking at, women who would come to my class, like older women who would wear bright red lipstick as like one of the most amazing things ever. And then I decided myself to just start wearing a bright lipstick. So every morning when I wake up after I've taken that cold shower, I put lots of oil and scent on my body, and I do my face. I make sure I put a good foundation on. Bronzer has become one of these things that I never used to use before, a little highlighter. And then I put on my bright lip, and I go to the gym with a bright lip. I teach with a bright lip, and I love it. It's one of those things that just, helps to uplift me and makes me feel good. So even if I feel brain foggy, I feel a little lethargic and fatigue, I put that bright lip on and I feel instantly much better. It's one of those superficial things that that actually goes quite deep. And so beyond this, what I'm just trying to do is embrace this phase of my life and enter my 50s tomorrow. I got this t-shirt, or this sweatshirt, from The Gap. We were both born in 1969. And I'm going to move into my 50s as gracefully as I possibly can. And really now I look at the future in a very different way that I used to before. And there is something to that quote of the future is wasted on the young. I never understood that quote before, but now I'm just really understanding it much more, that as I'm hitting 50 now, the next 5 years really makes so much more of a difference to me than what they have ever done. That now every day makes a huge difference to me, that every day is just truly a blessing. And it's up to me to make the most out of the day and to do just the best that I can, have compassion towards myself and be kind towards myself, and not beat myself up, because if I do that to myself, then that is what I am going to be, sharing with the world. So everything has basically gotten heightened for me. Everything matters much more to me. And it has been a huge upheaval in so many different ways, but I'm grateful for being able to embracing and being able to look at all of this and see what I can learn from it, and how I can become a better human being, from it. So I think that is basically what I wanted to say. Yeah, that, another thing is I started back to Sanskrit again, to learn Sanskrit. And this is a language that I used to study back in New York, but like 15 years ago, something I loved studying, but, got out of. And because I was feeling that memory loss and like that brain fog that really scared the shit out of me, I was just fearful of like losing it. So I thought, you know what, let me start Sanskrit. Let me like really have something to pay attention to and focus on and try to memorize, to try to continue to keep my brain sharp. And I am loving it. It is a lovely group at the SOAS, which is part of London University, or University of London, UCL. And it's truly the highlight of my week. Yes, there with like-minded, bright people. I'm learning just so much from everyone, and the teacher is amazing. And yeah, and I'm still, can't memorize everything, but I'm just being really kind to myself, and I'm not in a rush. And that's one thing that I've noticed within myself, is that I feel much more grounded, and I am allowing myself just to enjoy the journey of just being in the moment and allowing things to unfold. Very different from what I used to be before, where it was all about being in the future and getting to a certain place, and having a really hard time with being present in the moment. So maybe that is one of those joys that comes with, getting older. Anyway, that is basically it. But I hope that you enjoyed this video, that you got something out of it. This is basically it in a nutshell. I will keep you posted on what else comes up. If I end up starting with the HRT, I will let you know and share that with you. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. And it was lovely to talk with you and share this with you. And I hope that you're well. I hope that you are feeling bright, and you are most probably doing the best that you can, and that is really all that we can do. And if we do find that there are some areas of our life that where maybe we could do a little bit better, then explore that and move into that area maybe that feels a bit challenging and maybe a little bit scary, and see what can come out of it. I think that's what I have learned a lot this year, is that it's there's always something new to learn, and there's always some area, that we can work on. All right, that's it for me. I will see you soon, and send a little happy birthday to me tomorrow. Much love.